What's happening, everybody? Hey, is this thing on? Haha. How about that movie? Oh boy. That, I mean, seeing that, forget it. I'm gonna bring these amazing people right out as Autumn, Durald, Arkapaw, who shot this movie. I mean, come on. Miles Caton playing Sammy. Delroy, Lindo. Look out. Wunmi, Mosaku. Oh boy. Mr. Michael B. Jordan. Both of them. And the director of this brilliant movie, Ryan Coogler. That's right. That's right. Stand up. So I'm so nervous. You have no idea. I've been sitting in the house just like talking to my wife, going, "How am I going to do this?" When something, first off, I'm never on this side of the questioning. I'm usually answering. So forgive me if I'm not very good at this, but I'm going to try my best. But the other thing that makes me nervous is that I just love this movie so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin.
It is just such a. I'm going to ask you guys. So you all, this is a group question. You make a movie, you get together, you have this world that you're all kind of living in together. The set and eating and maybe hanging out. Sometimes sharing. I don't know. Hopefully you didn't share dressing rooms, but you know how it's like such a family. And then the thing goes away, and it goes away for a year, and then you come back, and now you got to do all this again together. But you're not wearing costumes. You're wearing these other costumes that you have. Like, how does that feel? Like, how is it? Is it the same? Is it different? I've had feelings where I go like, I don't know this person like in an interview. I knew them as that character. I knew them on the set. How's it been?
I'll jump in. Can you guys hear me? I'll jump in on this one. For me, it's been incredible because I fell in love with this cast. Some of them I loved them before the movie. Me and Mike go back pretty good. Delroy and I are neighbors, so I would see him like at the post office and I would know I was writing something for him, and I'll just kind of be looking at him, and he'll be like, "Man, why are you staring at me, man?" And I'm like, "No reason," And then Autumn and I got to know each other and became family on the last Black Panther movie. So, only way I get to hang out with her is when we working most of the time. So, but we wrote the script, and Francine Maisler brought us to Miles, who we needed, and it was director love at first sight when I saw Wunmi in a trailer. Crazy enough, I was like, "I hope I'll get to work with her one day." And so Francine brought us together as well. But I fell in love with this cast, and it was a big family, and we just small representatives of like the hundred some odd person crew, folks behind the scenes. It was a special situation. So I was actually surprised to be thought of for award season, and I was so excited to show up every time because it's like a reunion. And folks have get to know people's families and like it's just been an incredible process, and this has been the greatest gift to be able to see them again.
I'm glad you're enjoying it because for those of you that don't know, it can be it's a real challenge to be here and constantly, being asked the same questions and constantly be talking about something. But I guess if you love it and you love each other, that makes it feel good.
I can honestly say, I'm sorry to jump in, man. I can honestly say this process has been different because the questions that one gets asked as a result of audiences seeing the film, have real depth because the film is touching people in all kinds of different ways, and that's eliciting a lot of different kinds of questions.
So that was literally my next question, because I think of them literally...
Hey, you want to change seats, man?
I would love to. But I wasn't up for that part. And by the way, I can play the harmonica. But he didn't call me. So I think of them as airport moments, right? It's like you make a bunch of stuff, people see it, you know, they say I liked you in this or whatever. But sometimes you have those movies where someone asks you something deeper. And I'm wondering, in this case, like, what are those airport moments? What are they saying when they reach out to you, for instance, stopping you and saying that they were moved by something? What was it? What is it?
Man, that's a great question. I don't have a specific moment, but I know the feeling. It's like some of the questions that's being asked, it's like, oh, wow, I never thought about it that way, because they're bringing their own personal experience to the movie, you know? They're connecting with something that we were specifically trying to do in that moment, in that scene, in that conversation. And then somebody would come and ask a question that I was like, oh, well, no, I never looked at it like that, but I see your perspective, I see your point, and then have a you know, a small banter about that. Nothing is coming off the top of my head, though. Have you had those moments, too, where it kind of like makes you reframe something in a different way?
Yeah, I feel like every time I get asked this question, I do think about it deeply. Like, what did I learn from Sinners? What did I learn from Annie? What did I have to unlearn? And those questions are things I think about, like, kind of at least weekly. I would say kind of daily. Like, what are the lessons that I want to take from this piece of art that really reverberated with me and made me feel so grounded and like my capacity had grown. And like when I feel self-doubt and worry and fear, I do come back to those things a lot. So every time someone asks me that in a moment, I think, today, this is where Annie's come in handy today. Or this is where Sinners has come in handy today. You know?
Wow, that's beautiful. I love that. So it's like taking the experience of making this film has shaped you a lot as a person, it sounds like. Yeah. You had tools to deal with things that are going on. Ryan, let me start with you. So you could make a movie about vampires, or you can make a movie about the history of American music. You can make a movie about Jim Crow. You can make a movie about, like, brothers. But you just want to make a movie about all these things and more. Like, where does that come from, dude? I mean, I just want to know. Where, right? Where does that come from?
I appreciate the question, man. I like movies that have a lot of layers to them, and I find like genre cinema to often be that way. You know, I was talking with you about your film Stir of Echoes. Mm-hmm. You know, man, what you say? Who loved that movie? Hey. So I was telling...
He told me that it made him climb in his bed with his parents, just so we're clear.
Yeah. It did. That was the last one that made me do it. And I was a teenager, so like it wasn't a good look. But that movie was about so many things, man. You know what I mean? Like you know trauma and like the violence that teenagers can commit in a neighborhood, covering things up, and a young woman being mistreated in this connection between this dad and this kid, and mental health. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these things in this genre movie that I was feeling, and some things I couldn't even understand, right? And I honestly think, you know, my experience with making, you know, I made boxing movies, I made comic book movies. when people kind of have like that expectation set, a lot of times you can stack more things on that scaffolding. You know what I mean? You know, and that for me was you know, what it was all about. And it was coming out of the pandemic, obviously, and multiple labor disputes, you know, that kind of slowed everything down. SAG, Writers Guild, we in the DGA right now, right? And streaming and the box office hits that we were taking just from the things we were going through as human beings, and this question of, man, is cinema gonna still exist? So that kind of motivated me to want to pack it with, you know, with all the things in case this is like the last movie I ever made.
My last chance. Let me put it all in this one.
Exactly. Exactly. So that was basically where it came from, man. And Mike got very broad shoulders as a performer. He's always up to the task when I ask him to do crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like it's like, hey, you're gonna act across from Stallone as Rocky. And you're gonna be Apollo Creed's son. It's like, wait, what? You know, like, I don't know how to box, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, man, you're gonna learn today, you know? And like, he's always up for it. So that was, you know, and it was just me trying to be like Mike and there you go. But trying to put as much on my shoulders as a writer-director as I could that he does for me all the time as an actor, you know? So that was kind of the game.
So when you tell these kinds of tales, and you know the people are gonna ask about detail, do you like to share what the message is behind things, or do you like to hang on to that and let the audience decide? I'll give you an example: red hat, blue hat. What's that about?
I mean, I wish Ruth was here, but yeah, like I wish we had more time, but we try to develop like a color story. Autumn's here, but we talk about color story when we work. We did it for Panther, and I wanted to bring it to this, and I work with the great Autumn Arkapaw and Hannah Beekler and Ruth Carter to kind of like get a color palette going and representations of things that we're trying to attack. And this was an American movie, right? So the colors were red, white, and blue as a baseline. So we kind of worked from. I never talked about this, huh?
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
I have so many questions for you, Ryan, and I don't know why I haven't asked you them all.
Okay. Shit, so here we go. It's red, white, and blue, and characters that kind of hang in a balance are in whites or earth tones.
Okay.
So Sammy's in like a earth tone. Delta Slim is in a balance. He's in an earth tone, but he's got red and blue on him in his shirt. And Remick is in white because he's in a balance. Blue and red, you know, blue represented spirituality, red represented carnality. So Smoke and Annie are in blue, and it's from the Haint blue, from the South, and Stack is red because he represents carnality and the loss of innocence, and because Mary Rose was Stack, we put her in pink. Because they still see her as innocent because she was kind of like their little sister. So that's kind of where the colors came from.
Come on, then. I mean, you know, you can't look at this movie and not realize that the director has thought about every single detail, along with his amazing team of cinematographer and production designer, costume designer, and all those things. I've heard you talk about how important those people are to your process, but I'm so glad I asked that question because I never would have imagined those details. So thank you for that. That is absolutely...
All good. The answer to your question is I like to not say that stuff, but y'all came here and it's called...
So don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
That's all good.
Hey, I just got to say one. Yeah, you know, people have talked a lot about the the scene in the music scene a lot to you, and that whole thing, which is absolutely incredible. But I just want to tell you that one of the scenes that just blew my mind, and it was interesting that you talk about the carnality, is the scene in the car where Smokers with Sammy, and it goes from this very detailed discussion about sex. In fact, the first time I saw it, I was like, "What? Did I miss something? Did I miss that?" And then the second time I saw it, I said, "No, I didn't miss it." And then it goes to music. It just gave me the chills. I don't know why. Why? I don't know. You tell me.
Louis is really good. Composer. Actors are real good.
Yeah, actors are good. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. My picture editor is real good. Mike Sorry. Yeah, but the actors are good, man. Like they all.
Well, speaking of, Michael, I mean, I just want to, I know what my process is, of the course of my day. I wake up, I go to work, I put on my clothes, I sit in the chair, I got a pen, but I'm only playing one guy. So, what is this? Just tell me what that is. How do you do that? Just literally, what's your day? Do you play smoke one day, stack the next, split the day, split 4 times? I don't like to change my clothes once.
No, it's it was a process that we had to kind of figure out on the fly a little bit. I had a base process that I would go through that we kind of figured out during camera tests and stuff like that. But then once we actually started getting into production, we really had to figure it out as we went, what was the most efficient to make our days as best we could. So for, whenever the twins are in the same scene, in the same frame, we had to do multiple passes at it to be able to blend the two versions of it together. And normally, if I decide to go, let's just say I'm going smoke first, I would rehearse the scene as Stack, so my twin double, this guy named Percy Bell, I could be able to direct him on loosely what I was going to do once I jumped to the other side.
Gotcha.
So I would loosely block, some type of, maybe some improv or something spontaneous that I had to predetermine. So it wasn't something I couldn't improv in the moment. Right. I had to imagine what I might have done later, later on that day.
Oh my God.
So we would do that during rehearsals, and then I would hop back over as Smoke, and then I would rehearse as Smoke, and so everybody else could kind of understand what the geography and where the blocking and whatnot would be. And my hats off to the rest of the cast that had to observe that madness.
Oh my God.
And then I would do the take as Smoke, multiple times until Coog felt good about it, and then we would, as I'm going to go change, he's picking the take, the one that he wants to marry to. And then I would switch over to Stack that I already had rehearsed for everybody for continuity. And then my process in the trailer, I just tried to be as quickly as I could, is to, as I'm taking off the wardrobe of one character, I'm listening to music and key phrases that I would use to kind of lock into the other brother.
Are you running lines with yourself?
Yeah. A lot of the time. I'm usually doing that sometimes in the scene too.
Doing both guys.
Yeah. So then I would change, as I'm taking off layers, I'm trying to put the other layer back on, the other brother's layer back on, and then, get the set. We would cue up a couple of his favorites and mine, and we would talk through it, and then be like, okay, that's the one we're gonna marry ourselves to, and then it's game on, and then we go after it,
My wife told me that she heard you say that you wore one size too small on one character on their shoes and one size too large on another character.
Yeah, so Smoke is like the older brother. He's more of a caretaker, protector. You know what I'm saying? And he's the muscle. He's a stone cold killer. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't move around a lot. He doesn't talk without purpose and without meaning. So I gave him a shoe size too big because when you ever wear some shoes that didn't fit quite right, when they're too big, you don't really want to move around a lot. You kind of you're really intentional about the steps that you're making. And for Stack, I just went a half size too small. because you're always fidgeting. You're never really comfortable, you know. And Stack was way more buoyant and charismatic and you know, slick talker and more of a manipulator more than anything. So I felt like that helped me not think about some of the you know, body language as much. And allowed me just to kind of exist in both of them.
Well, it's funny that you say that because one of the things I think is so brilliant about your performance is that there's, you know, you could do twins and, you know, somebody puts on a pair of glasses or something, or, you know, does a goofy, you know, parts their hair on the other side. But it was so not about the outward physical thing. You had this subtlety of just a subtle difference in these two men that you never doubted which one was which, and it was so nicely drawn and so subtle. I mean, I love small work like that. It was really stunning.
Thank you, man. I mean, that was, you know, a lot to, you know, Coog, you know, knows these twins, Logan and Noah Miller, you know, and I got an opportunity to really talk through, you know, the experience of what identical twin was really like.
Oh, okay.
You know, and the idea in the story is that, you know, sometimes a lot of people couldn't tell which one was which. That was a little bit of the danger of the twins. You know, you didn't really know who was who a little bit from a distance until you really got up on them and started talking to them. And those subtleties are the things that we really wanted to live in. Yeah, they all have a shared childhood trauma, but they have two different perspectives of it, you know, and I tried to kind of live in that experience as best I could, and Stack kind of smiles his way through a lot of his pain, and Smoke doesn't really talk about his, you know what I mean? So you kind of have those at the core of it, and then everything else just kind of reverberates through that, you know?
And coming off of, you guys have done like 5 things together, right? At least, and you're a director as well. Like, is that an easy transition to bounce from being the director to not being the director to now you're back directing again? Do you ever go like, I don't know, do you ever walk on the set and think, oh, wait, I thought I was the director?
Nah, on this one.
Well, you're laughing.
Nah, on this one, that was part of the, you know, the conversation that we first had when he pitched me the film was, he didn't want me to have to think about that shit as much. You know, he said, hey man, you could, you know, check the director at the door and just focus on this performance. You know what I'm saying? That's a gift, you know, to give me.
You've already got 3 parts. Do you have to direct it?
Exactly.
Well, let's face
right?
it, he plays 3 parts, right? Because he's also Stack as a vampire.
Yeah, man. A lot more fun with him. Yeah, big time. But no, man, it was ability to. But in some situations, once you see, you can't unsee. If you ever direct anything, there's no way you can completely check out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how you see the world. That's how you see sets. That's just what it is. And the empathy that I gained for, you know, Cool, because like I said, it's my first movie that I acted in after my first time directing. You know, being another set of eyes for him. I know what his day-to-day is like. I know his routine in the morning. I know the things he's looking out for. I'm, you know, literally eyes on the ground while he's having producer meetings and first ADs. I'm with the cast and everybody, you know, that's on set. So as much as I could, you know, within reason, you know what I'm saying, make whatever he's getting ready to walk into a bit smoother, then, you know, that's the, you know.
That's a real partnership. I love that.
That's where it's at, you know?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I also, just as an aside, want to say that, you know, for a lot of times people think of like iconic lines and in movies becoming like part of our vernacular. And for instance, I'll be back, you know, Arnold. But I think No Vision it's got to be the new I'll be back.
I appreciate that. That's a good one. No vision.
Wunmi, I love that line. Such a beautiful performance as Annie. We've never met before. By the way, all right, amazing. What's going on? You don't talk like Annie. What? You don't have that accent. I didn't realize that.
I love dialect work. You know? It's like one of my favorite things to do. But finding her voice, it was just, it was really scary because the guys in New Orleans, they really are very specific. My driver was like Miss Mary. She would say, he was playing someone from Treme, but he was from CBD. I was like, Miss Mary, those are streets apart. She's like,
That's amazing.
I was so scared. I was very intimidated. And then these guys all doing Mississippi accents. It was intimidating, but it was fun. I loved it.
It was amazing. It was amazing. You know, I'm not somebody that believes that the value of performance is the amount of research that you've done. So there's no judgment here, but there was a lot of stuff I would think that you could have researched around this particular role with you know the basic religious cultures in that world and that whole thing, the spirituality of it. Did you get into that stuff?
Oh yeah, I really needed this role because I didn't know. I was born in Nigeria, raised in a very Christian household, and I was told that like any traditional indigenous religions was scary. I mean, the only thing I had ever heard of like voodoo was The Crucible and James Bond, you know?
James Bond.
Terrifying, scary.
Right, right.
And my mom was like, be careful with this role, be careful. And I understand her fear. I understand what she was taught, you know? And, but then I met these women and we had a hoodoo consultant and priestess who kind of coached me through. She taught me prayers and just the healing nature of the practice and the spirituality and the connection between Ifa, which is the traditional Yoruba spiritual practice, and I just felt like I woke up. I woke up to the people I'm from, the power that they possess, and where that lives in me, and how it can grow within me, and it was a process of decolonization, really, and reverence, and I felt I was born in Nigeria, raised in England. I left when I was 1.5, no choice of my own, and I've been doing Yoruba lessons for 5 years, and it never stuck until I played Annie. Now I can have a conversation in Yoruba. Now I feel connected in a way that I don't know how, but this woman, this story has just, I don't know, it's just given me such a, just even in the surreal montage, like that clear visual lineage of our ancestry, our music, our purpose, our artistry, knowing where it's from, knowing how it lives within you and where it's going, like the hope and the possibility, the faith that what we all do now will reverberate. It was just a powerful lesson that I really needed as a woman, as a mother, as a future ancestor.
Beautiful. Wow. Yeah. I never like the word chemistry when it comes to actors, because I feel like chemistry is two good actors playing a scene together, like two good actors. You know, it has an implication that I'm not really fond of, because in a way I think it undercuts what it is that we do. That being said, that was by far one of the best love scenes I've ever seen in a movie. And I wondered if, right?
Thank you.
And I wondered if you all, you and Michael and Ryan talked at all about the backstory, or whether you think as actors we need to understand the backstory or each other's backstory, and if that's important or not.
That's on me?
Mm-hmm. You wrote the backstory.
I did. But I think what we did, I love what you just said, bro. God damn, it's brilliant. Like no, just like the idea of how just a term like, oh, those two got great chemistry, how it strips the actor of the agency. Mm-hmm. Man, that's brilliant, bro. God bless you, bro. No, because that's what.
But enough about me.
Because that's what that. No, because I get frustrated, man. I get frustrated with my actors, because like. No, when it comes to them, because they work so hard, man, and like I'm an athlete, right? And like, I'm finna go deep, because like I'm a Warriors fan, and like, I mean, I'm from there, I you know, but I remember when LeBron was wearing us out in like this 2016 championship, we was up 3-1, and he had like back-to-back 40-point games. And I remember the one of the analysts says, you know, the Warriors are saying they're gonna give you 40 points and try to stop everybody else. And he stopped and he said, no, they don't give me 40. I go get 40. You know what I mean? Like it's not they're not giving me anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like,
thank you. Yes.
And like my actors are great, man. They great. And they so great that they make it look easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Smoke and Annie just fell into this chemistry. Nah, man, he's just working actors. Like, I saw them. They did not know each other before this movie. I saw them walk into a room, into an office building. You know what I mean? Like, with a fucking spreadsheet with the timeline. You know what I'm saying? And me being like, yeah, maybe this, maybe that. You know, and I saw them go, yeah, process that. You know, we closed the door. They asked me, what did you really mean when you wrote this? Like why would you write a relationship like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to say? They synthesized it. They talked about things that they'd been through that was similar. They found safety in each other. You know, Delroy, I saw Delroy create this character. I saw Miles, who never acted before, create this character. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and you know, it's not. It did not come naturally to them. You know what I mean? And like, I just love when you said how that could take away the agency and the artistry and the professionalism. But yeah, man, we had a chance to just talk. You know, as human beings, figure out where each other were coming from, make sure we were safe. We had a great intimacy coordinator, but the thing about that scene is like it's intimate from the gate.
Yeah, from
you know,
the time he looks at that grave.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. She's seen him naked and broken. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna get choked up.
Yeah,
but how tough, how big and bad can you be if you couldn't keep your kids safe? Definitely. You know what I mean? So for her, it's not big bad smoke that everybody's afraid of. You know what I'm saying? It's a broken man. You know what I mean? So and it started there. You know, so the love making for them was the afterthought. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There was apologies that needed to be made. There was questions that needed to be answered. Mm. You know, there was humanity that had to be acknowledged. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then we could get to that. Mm. You know,
Delroy. I loved this performance, and
Thank you.
To me, one of the great moments in the movie, one of the great moments ever, is when you start laughing at him about him playing the blues, and the way you laugh. I was like, I get this guy 100%. Like, I just got him, like, right there. The way you laughed, it was so deep. You just went down and just threw it out there. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Beautiful moment. Did you play music? Are you a musician before this?
I'm musical, but I don't play an instrument per se. I had a lot of instruction on the keyboard, on piano, and with the harmonica. But can I just do something really quickly?
Yeah.
And it piggybacks on Ryan, and I will get to the question if there's time. But now the color scheme, man, the color scheme. No, and how that related to Autumn's work as a cinematographer. I just had the honor of giving, Wunmi and I had the honor of presenting Autumn with a Best Cinematographer Award at the
That's right. Good.
One of the things, I'm not sure if I said it or not, but it feels like a direct connection between the work that you all did, Ryan and Autumn together, and how protected I felt with Autumn's work. I think we all did. I really felt protected, and I want to believe that that is a direct extension of the preparatory work that you did with Ryan. And I'm an actor, and I'm happy to talk about myself all day long. But I really want to, I'd love to hear from Autumn. I don't know if you, if that's okay. I don't know if you did it consciously. I'm sure you did because you're that great an artist. But when I heard you all talk about the color scheme and how that fed into your prep work, and for me as an actor, being on the receiving end of your brilliance, Ryan, the brilliance of my castmates for sure, but also the brilliance of the cinematographer and the way that you made me, and I would dare say the rest of the cast, feel really protected in our work together. And I kind of want to hear from Autumn, if that's okay.
Yeah, man. Autumn.
Yeah. Bless you, Delroy. I think I was the train station, because I was just talking to Miles. I remember when we shot that exact moment that he's talking about, and Delroy was laughing and he did his little thing with his knees. He did that thing with his knees. And if you see Miles's face, it's so genuine. And then Michael, a stack, like I was there and I saw it right before my eyes and it was so beautiful. And I remember after we shot that, I told Ryan, because that scene was very important to him, the introduction and that whole sequence. And it was not easy to shoot. Like, it was a very special scene that we had to do a lot of prep work for. But it just was so brilliant. Like, the performances in that scene that kind of kicked us off with Delroy's character and Stack, getting to know Stack. And then Miles is kind of just like his naivete. And it was so beautiful. So I just want to say that as a shooter, I was there as a moviegoer, because when you see these beautiful performances, you feel like you're not operating anymore. You know, you're just there and you're not doing work, and it's working on you as a person. So it was easy to protect all these people because they're beautiful people, they're genuine people. Ryan loves them so much, and the way in which they all work together is beautiful. So it makes my job easy. There's inspiration like hitting me in the face every day. So it's not, it's not something like I try because I want to make sure that what Ryan put on the page is beautiful. But these people up here are brilliant and they're good people. And so that is just like, you're going to get beautiful shots when you're working with these people. So,
can I ask you a question about a specific shot? I mean, I could talk to you, Autumn, about every single shot in this movie, and it would be so geeky, and I would be so gear-headed, like thinking about. But this is actually a question for Michael and Autumn and Ryan and Miles. So you're in the car, and there's a 3-shot, and in the foreground you have Smoke and Stack, and then in the background you have Sammy. But Smoke and Stack are telling some very important pieces of information there. And they're soft, out of focus through the whole thing. And Sammy is sharp. And if I was Michael B. Jordan, I'd be going, hey, I'm doing some really good stuff up here. Twice I'm doing it. And you're not going to rack to me? But it was so brilliant because I felt, it doesn't matter what I felt. You guys tell me, how did that decision, how did you make that decision?
well, it's funny because Ryan can talk about this, but the easiest thing to do is to crop one of the brothers out, right? To just have a shoulder in, because you can use a stand-in brother. But I remember specifically, and I think you're talking about that sequence, Ryan, where Ryan wanted to back up and show both of them and made the shot much harder, and we had to do like 100 more passes of it.
Yeah.
It was not easy, and it was important because of the exact reason that you're talking about. Ryan knew that was important to see both of them, even though they were out of focus. And a lot of that car work, I mean, it put a lot of pressure on all these people, like, you know, Delroy's performance in the car, with Miles, with Stack, with, you know, just the music that was playing. Like, it was 110 degrees. They're in 3-piece wool suits. There was a lot of work that went into that stuff, but they made it look easy. But it was not easy.
I'll tell you a quick story. We had the Chain Gang out there, and they were singers, some of them. And Delroy, man, I'm not gonna tell y'all. I'm not gonna tell, man. Delroy a national treasure, and like I say, he's my neighbor. And like, Mr. Bacon, you from Philly, right? Mm-hmm. His wife is from Philly.
Oh,
his wife. His wife is from Philly, and I know his wife, and like she is lovely, but she has a look in her eyes like, you know what I mean, I don't want to ever disappoint her. And his first day on set, we in these cars, you know what I'm saying? And he sees the Chain Gang, and he says, and Mike's driving, and I got Miles in the back seat. First movie, how old was you, bro?
18, 19.
18, first movie. I got this Model T car, and my stunt coordinator, Andy Gill, God bless him, I'm working with him since Panther, legend. And Delroy says, "Hey man, I want to stand up." He saw I see him, I want to give him that respect. I want to stand up while the car is moving. And I go, uh-huh. And I'm like, "Hey, Andy," right? I'm like, "Hey, can he stand up?" And he's like, "Yeah, let me see the car." So he goes and gets up, stands on it, and he kind of talks him through. And I'm going, like God help me, because if I don't bring this man home to Oakland safe, his wife's gonna cut my throat.
She's from Philly.
Yeah. So you know, but I don't want him to get in his head and mess the take. But we running out of time, and my wife, man, God bless her, she's my producer. We running out of time. The weather coming in on us, and I say, man, we got one shot at this. We gonna shoot a static wide, and then Dale comes through, man. And Mike slows down, and Miles is looking at all three of these guys acting, and people singing, and he stands up and he yells at these guys, you know, and then he drives off, and then Autumn comes to me and says, "Hey, yo, seeing that man stand up, it made me cry just sitting here. We gotta shoot it again. The camera's in the wrong position." You remember this, Autumn?
Yes, I
She's
do.
like, "Yo, we gotta do this again." And I'm like, "Yo, you running out of time." Like, yeah.
You know what's so crazy about that is that was literally my question for Delroy. Like, that moment was the knowing that was your idea makes it even better, because I've seen it 3 times, and I look at that moment and I go, I feel something. I don't know exactly what's going on here. You know, I don't even really know exactly still what you said, but it's just so interesting.
Hold your heads.
Hold your heads.
Heads.
Yeah.
Hold your
Well,
heads.
I mean, that to me says so much about you and that character, and the fact that you and Autumn and you, Ryan, were able to. Everybody there was able to give him that moment. Is just great filmmaking.
He did give me that moment, and that's forever, probably for as long as I live. The term that I always connect to Ryan is generosity, and generosity of spirit. This man is just so open. He's not precious. He's clear about what he wants and about the story that he wants to tell. But he's not precious about it, and there's an openness that exists from him to all of his colleagues, and that creates really open and generous lines of communication, and that's an example of one of them when I wanted to stand up, and he knew that if I fell on my ass, his wife, my wife was coming for me.
Yeah. Man, 100%. Man, 100%. I was just, that's all I saw was her face. Like looking at me. It was like my own surreal montage. She was looking at me like, man, you got him right. You ain't gonna let him hurt herself, are you? And I'm just like, shit.
Facts.
Yeah, hey, yo, you better, yeah, y'all know Nash, man. Yo.
So Miles, I mean, come on, first movie, come on, right? What was it like to, what was the casting process like, and what was the first day on the set like, and all those things? I mean, remind me, it's been a long time for me.
Yeah, man. Man, this experience was incredible. It was like the greatest, scariest, most vulnerable like experience of my life for sure. Like I grew so much as a person on this film. The first audition, I believe I sent in like a self-tape, which was like an interview. And then after that, I sent in a video of me singing. And they said that my lighting was pretty bad, and that it was poorly lit. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah. I sent that in, and then I got another call back. And after I did my initial audition, I read the script and sent that in. And I got a call back, and they said, you know, we want you to come to LA and do a chemistry read. And I was just like, whoa, like what's going on? Like this was crazy. And I got out there, and I met Ryan, I met Mike, Ludwig, Zinzi, everybody was there in the audition room. So you know how I was feeling. It was pretty crazy. And after that, I went home, and maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, I got a call from Ryan from Oakland, California phone number, and he was like, man, we want you to be a part of this. And
Good call. Nice.
Call changed my life, man.
This kid saved us, man.
Good call.
Yeah. And
But you come from a musical family, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been singing since I was 3 years old, and everybody in my family sings. So,
how was it? What was it like? What did you do in the pre-production in terms of the music? I mean, how much of it was live? How much were you singing tracks? Were you like in that whole giant sequence? Was the whole track there for that for everybody?
Yeah. So it was a mix of live, that initial before it goes into the surreal montage where you see the music change and it goes through time. It started as a live performance, and I think it was important for Ryan to make it feel like that, make it feel like a real authentic performance, which is why you have the dialogue in the beginning where Delta Slim introduces Sammy to the audience, and you have that kind of raw just introduction. And so we shot that live, and then we also recorded it in the studio with Ludwig. And I Lied to You, written by Raphael Sadiq, and Ludwig was incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing it in the studio for the first time and just being blown away because it was everything that, you know, Sammy probably couldn't say to his father or to his cousins, but it's everything that he wanted to say. And it gave me so much context, so much more, depth to the character. And it was amazing to shoot. Everybody was there, and the environment was amazing. Yeah.
Is your family getting a kick out of this?
Oh, man. Crazy. We from Brooklyn, New York, so I'm home right now. This is wild. I'm sitting here talking to y'all about my experience in a Ryan Coogler movie. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, yeah, my family's proud.
I just want to jump in for 2 seconds. Yeah, and he also learned how to play the guitar in 2 months, so let's not downplay it.
Wow.
Everything that he was doing in that movie is him playing the guitar, and he learned in 2 months, which is insane.
Oh, my God, I thought for sure he played. Wow, that's amazing. Well, listen, folks, how about this movie? How about these people? Huh? Sinners. You know, so good. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, bro. Thank you.